Okay guys, welcome back. So for this video, I'm going to be prepping my mask so that way I can cast it or mold it in silicone, rather. So in order to get all that, I want to put a barrier around the head cast to kind of collect and trap a lot of the excess silicone. As well as I'm going to make the support shell. I want it to not touch this because the head cast, because it'll probably stick to it. So I got some Plastilina clay, and I'm just cutting this stuff out. Make sure you use the non-sulfur based Plastilina clay, because sulfur will inhibit the platinum cure silicone. I think with a 10 it's okay, but I mean just get that stuff, don't be lazy. Okay. So I want to create a little bit of a gap between the clay and the mask itself, for the one reason of I want, when I'm casting it, I want the mask to have a little bit of a leftover lip. That way when the resin hits up against there, it doesn't just come to a dead stop. It's actually got a little bit of play between it. And so that way when I'm like rotocasting the mask part of it, it'll come up to the edge, and that way I won't have any like extra thin spots here underneath the chin or like around the border of the mask. I want to make sure I get those areas really good. Also, I used this Plastilina clay to help keep my head thing from rolling around. It's kind of useful. And this stuff is like super soft, and I really like it because you can just move it around no problem. Later on, I'm going to go back and do a little more refinement here inside the crack because I don't want the silicone to kind of leak through. I just want to make sure I have a good outline of where I want the barrier to be. And I'm trying not to touch the monster clay with this stuff because this is cheap clay and the monster clay is expensive clay, and I don't want to mix the two. I don't think they'll mix that well because this stuff is super soft, but you never know, and I want to keep my investment safe. I'm doing a little groove in here too, so that way when the silicone falls in there, it kind of collects and pulls and gives me a nice thick border to have on there. And as for spacing, I don't really have anything kind of set. I'm more or less just going with my finger width. And I don't think it really matters anyways in the end. Okay, so now I am going to go over my sculpture because I know I nicked it a couple of times with my fingernail, and then I'm going to fix a couple of the things. Okay guys, so I need to do the print layer first, and that's going to be the small thin layer of silicone over the top of this. That's going to pick up all the little details and get into tiny nooks and crannies. This is kind of the most important part of the mold itself. So what I'm first going to do is measure out, not exactly measure out, but I'm going to have some cups kind of designated to see how much silicone I want to use. So when we were putting out the registration keys, we found out that this stuff kind of goes a long ways. But I'm going to be safe because, I mean, at this point right now it doesn't matter. There's a lot of big crevices and stuff I can fill up if I have excess. So I'm just starting at the bottom and then working up 1 inch. And Rebound 25 is a 1-to-1 mixed ratio, so I mean, I'm not going to be exact, but I'm going to be pretty close. Again, in my previous video when we were making the registration keys, this stuff doesn't smell that bad, but it still does give off an odor. Not an odor, but some fumes, so you kind of want to make sure you have the windows open and some fans going. I have both right now. Yeah, so that should cover that. I also went to the store and I bought popsicle sticks, and I got some gloves. I've had gloves, but I'm actually going to use them now while I'm trying to mix this, not mix it, but anyway, separate them out. And again, just a reminder, use nitrile gloves, don't use latex. I think you can probably find vinyl gloves. I'm not too sure on those ones, but I use these ones that didn't inhibit the cure in anyway, so I'm going to use them again. And that was a glove, not me. So instead of just doing what I did last time, where I poured A and B into separate things and then I mixed them together in a third separate thing, which seemed just kind of wasteful and pointless, I got these disposable cups, so they're going to get thrown away anyways. So what I'm going to do A in one and B in the other, and then I'm going to mix the A into the other one and just stir them up real good. Since this one, the B is orange, I'm going to do that, pour that one into the white one because it's easier to see. Okay, so I got a little bit of a half a thing left over. Hopefully that'll be enough. I might have to go buy some more, and I really don't want to. Stuff ain't cheap. Okay. Separate popsicle stick. Don't mix that one with this one. Okay. So these are measured out. Let's see. They're just about the same. So, also for this one, I got some these disposable chip brushes. I got them at Harbor Freight. It was like $5 for a big box, and it was awesome. So yeah, let's close this stuff back up. I got dogs, and they get a lot of dog hair everywhere, and I don't want that stuff in my silicone. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna mix this stuff together, and then let's apply the print coat. The only thing I do gotta say sucks about putting a YouTube video is I can't have music on in the background, which makes this really boring. And so this stuff, it does say it has a pot life of 20 minutes. I don't want to push it, but at the same time I'm going to take my time when it comes to stirring it, because last thing you want is to have a batch of improperly stirred silicone, because it's not going to cure right, and it's just going to mess up your whole mold. And I guess this it's a brush on silicone mold, so I guess I wouldn't worry too much about air bubbles, but it's kind of too late now and I don't have a degasser. Alright guys, well this stuff's getting pretty rubbery. So I'm going to call it. I think this is about as far as I'm going to go on this thing. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to do the second layer. The first coat is pretty much all dry and set. It's only been about an hour maybe, but I feel comfortable putting the second coat on without ruining the detail in it. Okay, so for this one, I put half of it aside while I brush on this mold. That way it can kind of thicken up a little bit, because last time I poured about the same amount and it ended up being a lot. So I just wanted to make this layer a little thicker before I add the 5X and put a really thick coat on top of that. Because all the details are pretty much, I think, captured by the print coat. So now it's just about building up layers. Building up the thickness so I can get a nice uniform round shape for the mother mold or the jacket mold shell. You know what? I'm going to add a drop of 5X. 2 drops, 3 drops. So for this layer, I'm going to add the 5X. I make it a little bit thicker, that way I can kind of just get a nice, good, even, thick coating and cover up a lot of the thick spots. Okay, so it's good, but still a little watery, so I'm going to add more 5X. That might have been too much. Oh well. Let's find out. Okay. Now we're talking. Alright guys, now we're going to add the registration keys we made in a previous video. It's kind of okay just to space them out a little bit. I probably could have used a little bit less, but I figured what the heck, might as well use them all. So that should do it for this one. I probably put way too many registration keys on this, but I mean, whatever. I had them. Who cares? Yeah, I think we're ready to. We're gonna wait for this one to finish up, and then we'll add one more layer, and then that should be good. We'll just use up the rest of this stuff. Might as well. There are a couple areas, such as under here, that have like some really nasty undercuts. I want to make all of this stuff kind of flush, so that way I want to avoid making a two-part mold, a two-piece mold, because that's just a lot of work and I don't want to do it. So next batch, I'm going to pretty much focus on filling up these cracks right here, so it's just one solid conical shape that way it just pops right out of the mold. So right now I'm just adding some extra reinforcement to the registration keys because I kind of just stuck them on there, and they seem pretty stuck and pretty sturdy in there, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want these things popping out at me when I'm trying to demold them. So now for this next part, I'm actually going to be adding some more Thivex to the mix, and I'm going to be filling in these areas right here because I figure once I attach the jacket mold to them, that's where it's going to lock up. So I ended up just using the whole thing of Rebound 25. There was enough, I guess, in there to save for other projects, but I figure what the hell, this is an experiment for me, and I really like this stuff, so I'll probably buy more of it later on anyways. And I don't know, I guess silicone does have a limited shelf life, so you kind of want to use it as soon as possible. From what I heard, I don't know, that's just a marketing play to get you to buy more silicone or throw your old stuff away. Who knows? Okay guys, that's about all I can do right now for this mold. Now we're going to let it set. It's going to take about 6 hours or so to set. And once that's done, we can apply the jacket mold on top of it. I'll post that in another video, because I'll probably do that the next day or so. But thank you again for watching, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I'll have more project videos up, and hopefully I'll have them soon. Like I said, it takes me a while to get some videos together, because I have to cut and edit them myself, and it's hard to find time between work and other projects. But thank you again for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, again, put them down below, and I'll try and get back to you.